I'm going to begin this video by explaining to you a little known but highly advanced martial arts technique. It's little known because it's highly advanced, meaning you would have to be a highly advanced martial artist, a high degree black belt, a high level black belt with lots of training to be able to even hear about this type of technique. Why? Because this technique I'm explaining to you is about psychology, the psychology of combat. And here's the core of it, the gist of it. The gist of it is to trigger your opponent psychologically, to get them mentally and emotionally and psychologically out of control. Because if you have the training, if you have the skill and the proficiency, then the out of control opponent is easier to control. You follow? So the idea with this technique is to actually trigger your opponent, to get them emotionally and psychologically out of control. How do you do that? Well, the way you practice it in a dojo sounds silly, sounds simple, but the meaning behind it is, like I said, it's highly advanced. And the way you do it is you slap them in the face. That's it. You insult them. You slap them in the face. Now, if I slapped you in the face, you'd be angry and out of control before you even had a thought about it, before you could even logically think your way through that situation. If I slapped you, your neurology would fire off. You know that's true. So the slap goes back, in different cultures, thousands of years, as a high insult. And in Japanese culture, that's true too. You insult somebody by slapping them in the face. Okay, why did I start the video that way? Because this video is about taking things personally. It's about being triggered, and guess what? You know what drains more energy than hard work? Taking things personally, right? Someone's tone of voice, slap. Someone's opinion, slap. Another, someone not choosing you, slap. Someone misunderstanding you, dismissing you, slap, slap. And suddenly, you're in a fight that isn't even real. Here's why I say that. And here's the truth that most people learn or never learn. When you take things personally, you hand over to the other person control over your inner state. And do you really want to do that? That's the opposite of mental strength. When you give someone else control over you, over your mental and inner state, that's the opposite of mental strength. Mental martial arts, these videos, my channel here is about mental martial arts. It's all about self-control under pressure. And this right here, what we're talking about, is daily pressure. You have to understand, most of what people do is not about you. It feels like it is. It sounds like it is, but it's usually not. Why? Because, listen to this, because people speak from their stress. They show up and they come from their stress, their fears, their insecurities, their bad day, their bad week, their past wounds, their perceptions of the world. See, you're not dealing with their words. You're dealing with their internal world spilling out, sometimes spilling out all over you. When someone snaps, criticizes, ignores you, or dismisses you, you're not, I shouldn't say you're not, you are seeing their conditioning, not your worth. Let me say it again. When someone snaps, criticizes, ignores you, or dismisses you, you are seeing their conditioning, not your worth. Strong minds understand this, but weak minds personalize everything. I've said it a million times. The mind is a muscle that must be trained. That's why you're watching this video. It's why I posted this video, because mental training results in mental strength. And it's, at a minimum, as important as any other training you ever engage in. At a minimum, if you personalize everything, it's a real sign that you need to condition your mentality and build your mental strength. And if you personalize everything, it's a good bet that you have a tendency to go on offense. And not only go on it, but live from an offensive stance. But here's the thing. Not only does living from an offensive stance require a lot of energy, offense is often projection. You know what projection is. People accuse others of what they internally struggle with themselves. The insecure person calls others arrogant. The dishonest person questions your integrity. The undisciplined person mocks all of your efforts. And if you react emotionally, guess what? You just stepped into their storm. But if you stay calm, if you stay in control of the conversation and in command of the situation, when you have that ability to stay calm and not get triggered, remember this. Their reactions is information, not an attack. It's information about their state, not a verdict on your value, not a verdict on who you are, simply information about what's going on within them. You do not have to be triggered. It's your ego that wants you to defend, right? But it's your discipline that chooses what you really want. Peace. Now, I am not saying you should never defend yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that I'm somehow against conflict. I'm not. Especially when it's, sometimes conflict is necessary. But I am for something else. I'm for peace. I'm for outer peace and I'm for inner peace. But that ego says, how dare they? I need to prove something here. I have to correct them. But discipline says, not everything deserves my energy. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to, do you? I'll say it again, because it's pretty clever. You do not have to attend every argument that you're invited to. That's power. The strongest person in the room is often the one who doesn't need to react. So here's a practical reset for you. When you feel that emotional spike, pause and ask this question. Is this about me or is it about their state? That one question creates distance between you and them. And distance creates control. Is this about me or is it about them? Is it about their state? Then, once you've created that distance, stepped out of it a little bit, breathe. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Why? Because the breath is the fastest way to communicate to your nervous system. Breathe. Regulate your body first and your mind will follow, because when your nervous system calms, your ego calms too. It quiets down. And when your ego quiets down, clarity, logic, the ability to respond appropriately and not react emotionally, that all returns when your ego calms down. Listen, if you are one who takes things personally, here's the truth. Taking things personally makes your world small. You consistently manage impressions, you're consistently defending your own identity, protecting your ego, and guess what? It takes a lot of energy to do that. Stop giving your energy away. Make it a discipline. Make it a mantra. Make it a thing. Make it a rule. Don't give your energy away to things that don't deserve it, that don't matter. Letting things roll past you makes your world big. You move with steadiness. You choose your battles. It's expansive. The other one is contractive. But you want to expand. You want to choose your battles. You keep your energy for what matters. That's mental martial arts. Not dominance over others. mastery over yourself, right? And listen, that's how I'm going to end this video. Not dominance over others, mastery over yourself. That's why you're watching this video and hopefully watching other videos that I put on this channel about mental martial arts. Listen, if this hit home, train it this week. Catch the reaction, pause, reframe, breathe, move on. That's doing reps. And reps build strength. You know, if you go to the gym, every rep, all those reps build muscle. They build strength. And that's what you're doing here. You're doing mental reps. You got to do them in the moment as you're living your life. Do those reps and build your mental strength. Okay? I'm going to end the video right there. Hopefully you'll tune into some more videos that are highly relatable for you and related to this video actually, because they all kind of linked together. That's what personal development does. It just, everything kind of develops together. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it made sense for you. It is a giant reframe, which is part of what I just suggested to you, is to reframe. Okay, until next time, remember, the mind you train determines the life you live. I'll see you in the dojo.